Good morning, everybody. How's it going? It's a nice Monday morning, June 28th. Just coming across 10 a.m. right now. You guys had a good weekend. Today we're going to be taking a look at the CFTC data. Look at the positions held by the banks. Some interesting information. So we'll just cover a little bit of it today. I went into a lot of detail the latest erosion report. So if you want to get the full breakdown, have a look, if you remember, or and see it all there, okay? Yeah, good morning. So we're just coming across 10 o'clock now, so we'll let the rest of everybody else come on in. A chance. Nice to see you guys here. Like button for it. Appreciate it. Let's start it off on a good note. Let's hope that we don't have any technical issues today. Last week. So I was looking at the CoT data over the weekend. And so as we had previously mentioned, contracts expired not too long ago, a couple weeks back. So usually the banks, upon contract expiration, they will use that opportunity to shift their positions. So it could be very telling depending on what they do with those positions, okay? So we'll take a look at that and see if they in fact did something big. I spotted something with the US Swiss franc that's going to be very telling, I think, because we usually see that too, where the banks will do something with one or two pairs that are a lot more revealing than what they're doing with the other pairs. And so usually what they're doing with one pair, they'll usually do with the rest of the pairs. So we'll take a look at that and we'll see if we find anything. Okay. All right. Let's first start by taking a look at gold. Okay. So here's the data that was reported June 22nd, 2021. So as you can see, when you look at long positions, you can see that longs have been decreasing since the highs of 288,000. Okay, the previous week was 277,000 or 73,000, and then 253,000. Okay, so what is this telling us? This is telling us that the institutions have been taking profits on long positions. Okay, now we're not surprised, right? Members of the school, we're not surprised because we did talk. I think it was 2 weeks ago or so. I posted a report on the internet. Let's take a look. Posted a journal entry online in regards to what the institutions were doing with their positions and what we would expect from them going forward. And this was posted June 15. Okay, so that was a couple weeks ago. June 15, we made a journal entry called "Banks are taking profits on their." And if you read this journal entry, you would see that we were talking about gold declining. Okay, when taking profits on positions, especially with gold, they were long. We would expect price to decline, and that is exactly what. Okay, they took profits and price declined. So a lot of traders were getting in long right here at the highs of price, and that was an extremely bad move. But you wouldn't know that if you were just looking at the positions. Okay, right up here, retail traders thought that price was going to continue up like this. Now that could have taken place. We were watching very closely to see if they were actually going to do that. And there were chart signals that we were watching for to see if they'd be produced to to determine or to show us that the institutions were indeed going. And that didn't take place. It didn't take place, and when we were looking at the positions of the banks, and we were looking at where price was contacting timeframes, we could also compare it to what we were seeing with the other markets, and we determined they're going to start taking profits and price is going to drop. And this is exactly what took place. They took profits and now price dropped. Okay? At the same time as price was dropping, they increased their shorts from 79 to 81 to 86,000. So increasing short positions as price goes down so that they can take advantage of the downside, and taking profits when you close a lot of long positions, it causes a drop, and that's why you get price. All right, so now what? When we look at the positions here, duration of the cells, we used to be 84% of their overall exposure in their positioning for gold used to be geared to the long side. Now we're at 74%. There's been quite a dramatic drop since those numbers. So right now the sentiment is neutral, and that's a good thing because price has dropped from the highs and the sentiment is neutral. They're not bullish. Okay? They've been taking profits on long positions, so we wouldn't expect the sentiment to be. So what we need to see is for us to see that they're getting interested in accumulating. Now, over the very long term, there's a very good chance that price is going to be higher. But in order to know that with some degree of certainty, we need to wait and see if the banks are going to start buying. Because they were buying very aggressively back here in December. Then they took their profits and they started buying again, and now they're taking profits. So we don't want to get involved in something when the banks are taking profits. Okay, that would be the wrong time to be buying when the banks are focused on selling. All right, so that is what we are seeing in terms of gold. Now let's move over and take a look at oil. So oil has been extremely strong. Price was just consolidating on the weekly chart. As that took place, the positions of the banks increased in longs from 664,000 to 669,000. At the same time, they slightly increased shorts, but that's nothing. The big one here is the increase in their long. Okay? 664 to 660. And previously was 657, then 638, 625, 612. So you can see they've been purchasing longs for the last few weeks, several weeks. Okay? So price is moving up, and now we're inside some supply. This supply, we've talked about it, members. We talked about the importance of this supply and the role that it plays in what is about to take place. Over the very long term, we expect price to go higher. I'm talking about that since price was down in the 80s. So over the very long term, we're looking at the charts setting up, and we can see a very good chance that price is going to go a lot. Excuse me. So what needs to happen is these areas of supply need. And so we're contacting these areas of supply now. Once these areas of supply are removed, that will open up for a much larger move. Now we're watching this very closely, and we're also watching the USCAD. And one thing that we've been talking about for the last several weeks is how we suspect that USCAD is going to be a lot further down the charts. So with that, the Canadian dollar will get stronger. So that's in perfect correlation with the move upwards that we are expecting here. Oil. All right. So now let's take a look at the US dollar. So what's happening with the US dollar? We had this massive rally up in price. Okay. And as that was taking place, what we see is shorts were being closed off. 30,000 down to 25,000. Okay? At the same time, longs were being decreased. Now, over the last week, they dropped them from 25 to 24. Here's the deal. We were talking about contracts expiring. They expired around June 15th. So we can see a significant shift here. Before contracts expired, they had 31,000. After, they have 24. Before contracts expired, they had 30,000 short. After, they had. So basically, they're reducing both sides. They're both reducing the longs and the shorts. Okay, so nothing very telling when looking at just the dollars data. But we look at the charts and we can see that price is rallying up. And now it's falling short of hitting some supply. So the next expected move would be more upside since we haven't had any supply coming. Aussie, take a look at that. Since contracts expired, take a good look at that. What I see is that before contracts expired, they had 40,000 long. They increased into 56. Okay. Prior to that, 48. So a jump from 48 to 56, not that impressive, but a jump from 57 to 73 is pretty impressive. Short position. And what happened? Big decline in price. Now remember, students and members of the school, we were talking about this in some detail about what could take place. And what we're seeing is a lot of evidence to suggest that we could be seeing a bigger price. Okay. Now, Aussie, gold, they are sometimes correlated well with each other. And so if the Aussie was indeed to drop, then we would be looking at a potential for gold to be dropping price as well. And we do see that potential, especially with the dynamic that is, okay? But that would be over the, okay, several weeks and so we are paying attention to that, and Aussie is definitely leading us to suspect that we could be seeing a bigger. This big increase in short positions is pretty significant. Okay, from 57s to 73, significant. If they hold those positions and potentially even increase them, the shorts, then that's gonna mean a lot, and that could potentially fuel the bigger drop in price. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. If you guys can hit the like button, we have, what, 35 viewers right now? Only 11 likes, is that what I'm saying? Hit the like button. Can we get that like button, can we get the likes up to 30? 30, at least 35. Can we get them up to 35 before we end the session today? So that's what we're seeing in terms of that. USCAD. So we've been talking about USCAD. Rallied up, paused, and dropped. As price was rallying up, they closed long positions from 28 to 25, but they also reduced their shorts. Now remember what I was saying about profit taking 2 weeks ago. Okay? Before price rallied, I was saying they're going to take profits. And what were they? They were short USCAD just like we were, right? They were accumulating shorts while retail traders were getting in long. Do you remember that? Retail were getting in long. We were getting in short. We profited on the move to the downside. And then when price hit the lows, exited our short positions. Why? Because we knew with great certainty that price was going to reverse and start heading higher. So we didn't want to be holding in short positions as price was rallying. It was much better to wait for it to rally and then start shifting momentum back to the downside to get involved. So, as you can see, profit taking was exactly what they were doing. Okay, they closed their shorts from 80,000 to 69,000 now, and this is what's fueled this move to the upside. Okay, and it looks like they reduced long positions to help stabilize price at the lows. So we are interested in getting in short. It's just we got to wait for the signal to do that. All right, so let's take a look here. Now we have the US Swiss. So here's the one that I was talking about at this session, that it was somewhat revealing. What do I mean by it? Let's take a look here. So price is rallying up. Remember, it contacted this demand, and what do we say? That price was likely going to head higher, very likely. The reason being was because we spotted the fact that the chart was in a range, and that's what happens when price is in a range. When it reacts from demand, it heads higher. So that's exactly what took place. Now, as price was rallying up, look what was happening. They increased their shorts. Now, I think that this is in preparation for a larger move. That's what I am suspecting. They're preparing, okay? Because previous to that, short positions have been very cooled off. Take a look at the short. And now they're starting to become somewhat aggressive positions, and the sentiment is definitely bearish. So I think they could be preparing for a much larger move. Swiss. Okay, I put more details about that in the euro. Big drop down. What do we see? Longs drop from 232, 210, and then 207. At the same time, they increased their short positions from 92 to 118,000. Okay, big drop in price. Same thing with the dollar. It fell short of hitting its opposing zone, so we do expect price to continue in that direction until it does contact the opposing. Big drop in the pound US dollar, and long positions drop from 55,000 to 51,000. Shorts increase from 23 to 33 as price drops. Okay, so when you increase long positions, price rallies. When you take profits on long, so profit taking. Once again, we spotted it before it happened. How could we have known that? How could we have known that the banks were going to do something before they actually did it? Well, again, that's what we teach at the school. The Sherlock analysis process. How do you take a look at the data and make sense of it? How do you determine what is going to take place before? And so this is perfect proof of the system and how it works. 2 weeks ago we talked about the profit taking, and then now we are seeing the proof. Okay, let's go over to US dollar Japanese yen. So price is hitting supply. And we have, in terms of the dollar, we see a lot of buying, right? And if we look at the US dollar Japanese yen, what do we see? Big increase as well. After contracts expired, 69 to 87,000. But look at shorts, 22 to 34. That's a quite significant rally up there in short positions. From 22,000 to 34,000. So I detailed this in the report, so I'll leave it for the members only. But we got to watch this chart, and it's going to, what's taking place on this chart is going to be very good for yen pairs. Okay, that's all I'll say. What's happening here is going to be very good for pairs, and I'll detail that in a members only. Kiwi US dollar, again a drop in price, contacting demand. This one's very similar to the Aussie in the fact that I see a lot of evidence to suggest that we could see a bigger drop in price. The chart hasn't given the signal for that yet, but I'm just starting to see signs that that could potentially take place. So just want you guys and gals to be aware of it. But in terms of positions, they increased longs, did nothing to see here. It's stuck in a range until it breaks out of the range. We don't know where price is going to go in. Okay, but evidence is there to suggest that it could. All right, ladies and gents, now I'll turn to comments and or questions. I see, let's see, to him. The gold drop took place as expected. Yes, sir, Jason. Can I ask why the CFTC report on Bitcoin? There is zero short on. There have been for 2 weeks now. That's not what I saw. That up and see. I don't believe I saw that, but let's see what I see. What are we at? 20 likes? Can we bump it up to 35? Okay. Bitcoin. No, it's not at 0. I don't know what they at, but non-commercial. So those are the guys that we want to follow. They're mostly short Bitcoin, mostly short, and they have 4,500 long. And in terms of commercial, they're the opposite. They have more long, have short. Okay, but here's the number here: 6,030. Okay, the non. Okay. That Aussie weak demand zone is still holding. Yep. Glad you got out the USDCAD shorts. Yeah. Well, it was just the signal was there. The signal's there. Get out, and that's it, right? All right. So that's pretty much it, ladies and gents. I will leave you at that. We covered the essentials for what is taking place. There are a lot of signs that we could see continuations of the moves that took place last week. Okay, so in terms of the U.S. dollar, we see evidence to suggest that it's going to higher. Aussie could continue lower. U.S. CAD continue higher. U.S. Swiss continue higher. Euro U.S. dollar drop. Pound U.S. dollar drop. U.S. dollar Japanese yen. I don't want to speak about that. I'll leave that for members. And the Kiwi potentially drop. Okay? So hit the like button for me one last time, and I'll let you guys go. And we will see you tomorrow morning. All right? If you guys have any questions, then now will be the time to bring them up. Otherwise, I will assume that you guys are good. Just wait around for your. Please look into US dollar ZAR. Yeah, bring that recommendation or leave it in the comments section below when this video has been uploaded. Leave that in the comment section, and then we'll take a look at it on Thursday. Okay, Thursday is when I like to take your requests. Back Thursday, I throw back to you to send me your requests, and then we can take a look at that. Okay, for you, I don't have any. Okay, ladies and gents. All right. If you do have any questions, leave them in the comments below the video, and then I will get to them as soon as I can. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll